Hey everybody. In this video, I'm going to explain some tips for writing good dialogue before you dive into writing your own short stories. Good dialogue when you're reading a story can really bring it to life. And that's because people speak to each other all the time. And if you don't have effective dialogue in your story, then it can leave it feeling not like real life. And what characters say can really reveal a lot about them and show their emotions, show what they're struggling with, show how they're interacting with each other, and really keep the story moving forward. So there are four main tips for writing good dialogue that I'm going to explain here. One is that all dialogue should have a purpose. Two, the format of the dialogue has to be a certain way and be consistent through your story. I'm going to recommend that you use dialogue tags and action beats. Let's spend a little bit of time thinking about, and I'll spend a little bit of time explaining what each of these is. So starting with purpose. When you're writing your story, all your dialogue should have a purpose. And some of the best things that dialogue can do are create conflict or tension between characters to show some disagreement maybe, or differences in perspective. Dialogue can also reveal information. We can learn important plot details from people speaking and generally just advance the story forward. Someone makes a decision, something happens, something changes as a result of what someone says. Basically, what you want to do is avoid small talk. You don't want your characters getting together and just talking about the weather or, hi, hello, how are you? Oh, I'm fine, thanks. That doesn't help keep the story moving forward. All right, format tips now. You always want to use quotation marks around what your characters are saying and start a new paragraph and indent each time a new character speaks. Dialogue tags are something that you are familiar with, but maybe aren't familiar with the name. This is like the he said and she said when you're reading a story. Okay, he said. See you then, she said. Those dialogue tags are really helpful to keep track of who is speaking. And it's best if you add them in early as you can. If someone's saying a big, long speech, you want to work in the dialogue tag earlier, not at the very end. Finally, action beats. My guess is that this is new for most of you. Action beats are descriptions of what the character is doing while they are speaking. And you can insert them in the middle of what someone is saying. And what that does is it helps create a visual picture in the reader's mind of what's happening when the conversation is happening between the characters. All right, just to review our tips, the four tips. All dialogue should have a purpose. Make sure to follow the format of proper dialogue throughout your story. Use dialogue tags and action beats to help your readers understand what's going on as they're reading your story. In part 2 of this video, we're going to check out an example, so stay tuned for part 2.